podcast. Home of, I suppose this is Chaos Mode Part 3, the 20th episode. So, our production schedule's back a whole week, but we're getting there.
Mm-hmm. We're not too far off this time.
Yeah, it would have come out on the 19th if everything had been on schedule, this episode, so we're only a little bit behind.
3 days off.
Yeah, I've started on, well, no, we're a week off, because the Tora episode would have come out on the 12th.
Yeah. Arguably, there's really no need for a set schedule anyways. Except for consistency's sake, right?
Yeah. That's...
Yeah.
We're working on it. It'll get fixed out. So yeah, we're actually doing some little piece of film history here. This is the film that kicked off the era of the rise of Troma Pictures.
Is that a big name?
Sort of. They're really known for this, and they do like just random cult shit. They do. This is the big one. There's stuff like Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead, Romeo and Juliet, which is like a really racy version of Romeo and Juliet, Troma's War, Class of Nukem High. Many of them directed by the guy who directs this, which is Lloyd Kaufman. And
so this is kind of a like cult horror classic royalty, is what you're saying.
It's a bit of royalty.
And I mean, this doesn't have. I think there's like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 names on here in the Wikipedia page for anything under like known actors. Everything else is just kind of unknowns.
Oh yeah, but I mean, later on they actually work with a bunch of guys. Like James Gunn got his start through Troma. Oliver Stone, Samuel L. Jackson, lots of big names have worked with them.
Yeah. Worked for them.
Yeah. Worked for. Yeah. For or with, depends on how you want to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this is actually like the era where James Gunn said a lot of the stuff that got him canceled. Remember that?
Nowadays?
No, this is what the stuff he said when he worked for Troma was the stuff that got him fired from Disney.
Oh, I don't even think I know who James Gunn is. Is this
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying now. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no. Huh. No. I can see why, because there's some slurs in this. They're all said by the bad guys, so you can kind of write them off, but it's not terribly PC. And I know like the first video I see on Troma Video's YouTube channel is a thing called Safe Spacia. So, pretty big film. Didn't make much of a profit. Only like not even really a profit because it didn't make it. It's all VHS sales, which make it very popular. But yeah, we're reviewing Toxic Avenger. I don't know if I said that or not. I mean, I've announced it.
I don't think you did.
Facebook, which I'm sure you're all following at Kyle and which I'm sure we're all following at Kyle and Cody's Cult Cinema Cast on Facebook.com. Yeah, it won out by a tiebreaker vote, which shall remain anonymous for their own safety because they've slighted Chuck Norris, and bad things might happen to them if they if it comes out who happens. Yeah, no, but yeah, no, this is a pretty decent thing. He's been in a lot of stuff. I think Kaufman actually made an appearance. Like the internet likes him. He was in the Angry Video Game Nerd movie. He was in the Brad Jones, the Cinema Snob's most recent film.
Yeah.
Another Cinema Snob film. Playing a character in the movie. He had a cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2. He does a bit of acting occasionally.
That being said, even the reviews are fairly decent. I think I've seen only one negative review, and that was said, though it is silly, sleazy, and graphically violent, the Toxic Avenger does hold a bit of warped charm for fans of this sort of thing. And that's not even a bad review.
Yeah, no, Metacritic is a bit low at 42%, but like Rotten Tomatoes is 70, Google users is 85. Though I mean it's actually only $2 to watch on YouTube, so I mean that's nothing. You can just get like give
in
Google
in
$2 to
high
give it a watch. It's
definition.
perfectly fine. Yeah, exactly. That's like
Yeah.
$3 cheaper than anything else we buy. Yeah. I don't know
Hmm.
that necessarily if you have this on VHS, probably watch it on VHS because it's some of the makeup effects are kind of exposed in the high definition a bit
Hmm.
more. But I don't know. I haven't watched it on VHS. I don't know how obvious it was it then. Some
Yeah.
of the arm makeup isn't done very well. It's not thick enough.
And
It's clearly just a
right
guy that's been
now,
painted on a bit.
it was announced by Legendary Pictures that in March 2000 or 2019 that there would be an upcoming reboot with Marcon Blair as director of the upcoming. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's so popular now that it's getting a reboot.
Yeah. Yay, reboots. It's I mean, I'm not
I
a big
don't know
anti-reboot
how
guy, but
well. I don't know how well it's not going to age great, but
I thought this was okay. I thought it really struck with the times. I'll talk about themes a bit, but I rid with this movie all right. Yeah, budget of $500,000, $800,000 box office, which isn't great, but like I said, a lot of VHS sales.
we can't really talk about a cast list
Yeah,
because there's not really a cast
yeah,
list.
the guy yeah, there's two guys that play Toxie. Mark Torgel plays him in the beginning, which is when he's all like a nerd and whatnot. And then Mitchell Cohen plays him in the as plays his mutant form, and he's only really in this, and then he's in Clerks. So
Never heard of
yeah,
it.
not too much.
Wait, okay,
The
never
Kevin
mind.
Smith one.
I've heard of it. I know
Yeah,
what you're talking.
yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, he's only been in like that. I think he has like a Facebook
are they on
video.
our list anywhere? Yeah, they are.
The Smith? Not
Yeah,
on this
Kevin
season,
Smith
I don't
movies.
think. I don't think we have any Kevin
I
Smith
thought we
movies
were.
on this season.
Oh no,
We are, but yeah,
no.
on this season.
I'm thinking of Wolf Cop.
Yeah, no, that's coming pretty soon. We only got like 4 movies left after this. Our film opens with with some Glorious Aiders music. We get a news report of about the growing pollution in the city slash town slash village of Tromaville. I see it referred to as all three through various sources. There's a big plaque that says the village of Tromaville. It seems like a city in scope, but it's or at least a small city, not like a actual city. People wouldn't consider it a city. It's like we're from Saskatchewan. We consider Regina a city, but that's nothing.
Yeah, but I think maybe it was like a white city type ordeal. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, White City is a place in Saskatchewan that's really close to Regina, but Regina has so far grown its way out to where White City is, so it's kind of engulfed White City into its own,
Could
or
be,
will
could be.
eventually.
Yeah, it could be just a really close bedroom community. It's
New Jersey's pretty
big.
big.
It's yeah, yeah. It's within the fiction within New Jersey. Tromaville is a town that's recurring in a lot of Troma movies. We meet our main character Melvin Ferb, who is a gross little dork. Is the charitable way to describe him. He works as
Yeah.
a janitor in a gym. He's not a great character. You don't really like him. Thankfully, he does change quite a bit. Like, I'm not convinced this guy and Toxie are really the same character.
I mean, I wasn't, I didn't hate the guy. I kind of pitied him. He's like a janitor. He's kind of dorky. He might be somewhere on some form of spectrum. Like, you can tell there's something, like, off with him.
He has very bad social skills. He's like a living with his mother trope. So,
And he gets bullied.
yep, he does. Yeah, no, you have sympathy for him in the sense that okay, this is a bad
But
thing they're
then,
doing.
but then he's, like, just peeving on these guys while they're naked, or these
Oh,
women while they're
perfect. Yeah.
naked. And then, yeah, and then I'm just like, okay, well.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So yeah, we're getting a little introduction to like just scenes of the gym over the 80s music. We're getting a little something for everybody, something from the ladies, something for the guys. There's ladies in bikinis, men shirtless and big muscles, and other people who aren't as traditionally nice to look at. We meet like a bunch of our side characters, which I kind of like the side characters in this. They're all everyone has a bit of personality. The group of goons, of the groups of goons that we encounter, there's maybe one that's not very well defined, and that's just because there were so many of them. It was easy. It would have been very more difficult to give them a ton of things. And this is a short movie too. This is only like 82 minutes, so
Mhm.
it's nice little quick watch.
I've got 79 minutes here, actually. Even smaller. Maybe there was a cut, though.
Yeah, I think it's the YouTube length was 82 minutes, and they have made different cuts of it throughout the years.
Ah,
Melvin's walking around mopping everything. This is eventually he's getting all distracted, and he puts like the mop pail in the in the hot tub, drawing the ire of a pair of couples, which call him the R word and start pushing him around a bit. He walks away. Later on, we get another scene of one of the couples. They've gotten themselves a private location they've gotten themselves some privacy in the locker room, so they decide to have sex in there. And then Melvin walks in on them, sees everything, and
mhm.
the woman says she's gonna stab him because he walked in on him, and then he just like stared there for a couple minutes instead of walking away like a normal human being. He's really awkward. We find out that there's some incidents going on of these hidden run serial killers, which through conversations with the two couples, it's revealed that they are the hidden run serial killers running over people.
This one was a rough scene.
Yeah, that was rough to watch. We get a scene of them doing their murdering, and the one of the guys who's a really piped up, stressed fellow is just like, "Tell me what the points are. What are the points?" And she spouts out a bunch of slurs. She puts out the N word in there and says everyone's worth 28 points. And then Puerto Ricans are worth 30 points, which what do you have against the Puerto Ricans specifically? Like what do you have some strong opinions about them not having statehood? Like is this just like the ultimate extreme version of not wanting Puerto Rico to become a state, that they want to just become violently racist toward them? Or is this just picking a different random people from a random US territory and killing them randomly? And for the record, how are you going to tell a Puerto Rican on the street? I mean, yeah, some of them have a little bit of oceanic blood in them or whatever, but still, you're not going to be able to pick them out specifically as Puerto Ricans, probably. Though, I mean, is that a thing you'd point out to these people who are clearly racist? So, yeah, they're driving around. They're drinking.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, at first I thought, oh, okay, well, these guys aren't that bad. They're just horny. I don't know how else to say it. And
Yeah,
these
no, the
women are
gym is.
really awful. And then
Yeah,
eventually, it like when this scene happened, I was like, man, these chicks are just awful. Like,
yeah, no, everyone, every last, ev- there's none of the people who are going along with this are even like remotely redeemable. Like they give one of the women a bit of a scream queen scene later in the movie, and like which normally might get garner you some sympathy from a normal person, but this woman's a serial killer. So
and racist.
yeah, also racist serial killer, which
Hmm.
lovely. That's all we need. This is something I kind of like. This is despite like maybe perhaps their modern dislike lefty cancel culture stuff. They are pretty lefty in this movie. I think one of Kaufman's later works, Troma's War, is like a big critique on like Reagan era interventionism, so or war glorification. I'm sorry. What's the difference?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, let's be honest. But yeah, no, it's this. There's a lot of really lefty themes in this. It's weird, like weirdly for some of the point, like just throws out these slurs like something. A lot of the politics are really left leaning, which I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these guys that are, some people just don't have any respect for not using them. I mean, that's a debate we'll get into another time, I suppose. So yeah, they're drinking and driving, looking for their next victim. We see a bunch of Budweiser cans on the car floor under the steering wheel, and they're passing around like a Jack Daniels bottle. They find a kid on the bike who has been lovingly given permission to ride his bike at night by his loving and doting mother, who is just about to see her
Older
son for the
sister.
last time. Older sister? Oh.
Older sister. He's like, don't forget your helmet, little Timmy. And he's like, thanks, big sis. And then proceeds to get crushed by a car.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, the hit and run killers find him, run him over. He topples over the top of the vehicle, and then after it's revealed, they see him moving around in the rear view. They turn around and then run over his head, killing him. And then the girls get out and take pictures.
So with that being said, at least they're promoting safe bicycle usage in this film.
I was like, as soon as you like said, well, at least there, I like froze in terror, just like, where is he going with this joke? I was just like, at least I thought
mean,
you were maybe gonna say, oh, at least it's not a hit and run. They got to leave the kid their insurance information.
but like, if that kid didn't have a helmet on, do you think the first collision would have killed him?
Yeah, no, fair point. Yeah, he would probably have. Yeah, no, that probably saved him from the first crash. If this has been like an accidental thing, it might have saved his life. Like, I don't know how extensive his injuries is. Those might have been mortal wounds initially.
Oh, he was like crawling away.
Yeah, he was crawling away. That might not mean much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that could just be adrenaline pushing him forward. He could still be bleeding at the wazoo.
Well, I mean, the way I look at it is that all of this, the carnage in this movie is always going to be like dolled up because it's like an early '90s horror film, right?
It's 1984.
84. So yeah,
85. Yeah,
yeah.
85ish.
So with that being said, everything is going to be glorified. So we can't actually tell the extent of this kid's injuries because it wouldn't be very accurate anyways.
Yeah, this is before they
the way they
wussified Hollywood and they wussified Hollywood into not letting them use any gore, because all these Hollywood snowflakes. I can't even finish the sentence. I can't finish that joke. It's remember, kids, if you complain about there not being any gore in cinema, that's the fault of rich people who want to market everything to everybody. Eat the rich. That is the moral to all your problems. Yes. Yeah, and this movie pretty much agrees with that.
But the guys who made this movie probably did not get rich off.
I mean, they've made a career off it. I don't know how rich they actually are.
Not very.
They have a 40-year career though. So.
And sorry, I wanted to touch on the fact that they got out and took pictures of this.
Yeah, no, they are full on like Criminal Minds serial killers. They are like
not really, because
fucks.
Most of the people in Criminal Minds don't just like, oh, we're gonna take pictures of this crime scene and put them into our lockers.
Sometimes
they're literally carrying around incriminating evidence of a murder going
Well, yeah,
on.
that's how you catch them. Yeah, you always find like some shit in there, and they like usually it's more gruesome. It's like a teeth or like a bit of hair, but yeah, they always have some sort of ritualistic souvenir.
And they went out and bought a new camera for this.
Yeah, no, yeah, they're trying out their new camera. The next scene where we get is them hate criming a gay character. They stick a stake down the back of this coded gay dance instructor's shirt and make a joke out of that. Which, I don't know, the jokes, I guess it'd be more it'd be more funny and laughable if there wasn't a snake they put down the back of his neck. Like, after you see these people run down a kid in a car, you don't putting a poison snake down a guy's shirt. So far off there.
It's like me taking your kneecaps out with a hammer, and then the next day putting a whoopee cushion underneath your seat.
Yeah, you're half expecting it to explode and turn your ass on fire. Like you started to associate like sinister shit with them at this point. They also start talking about how much they're annoyed with Melvin because he's staring at them in the squash court and he's being really creepy about it. Yeah, he does not have social skills. Just straight up, he needs some sort of help. And they're conspiring to get back at Melvin. And like I said, you've seen them run over a kid, so you're assuming the worst. We get a scene where these truck drivers are saying they're going to take a break to snort some cocaine. And they park outside the gym with a truckload of open-lidded toxic waste, as if to
pretty sure
dare
that's
everything
illegal.
to happen. Oh yeah, multiple counts. Taking dangerous chemicals through city limits, not properly sealing containers full of dangerous materials, not properly securing them to the deck of the truck. They really move around. It's a flat deck truck, so one of these things could easily fall off the side if you were to take a short turn. But I guess they're going straight, so it's okay. What other crimes? I imagine the EPA has something to say about this.
How about the cocaine?
Oh yeah, cocaine. That's driving under an influence.
Not even like a small amount of cocaine. This was like half a bag of cocaine.
Yeah, that's a decent amount. I don't know the exact numbers, but I imagine you could get them for dealing if you really wanted to. Yeah, so that's possession with intent to distribute.
I don't think you can. I'm pretty sure that there is a certain amount of drugs you can actually claim as personal.
Oh yeah, I think that I'm saying that's over. They clearly have something that's over the amount of personal. I think that's at least like a pound of cocaine or something.
Okay, that's fair.
Or like a half pound. Yeah, it seems like it's you could a cop could theoretically argue this is the Reagan era, so the war on drugs is back on. Oh yeah, so probably at least somewhere around a dozen. If the cops want to resist arrest, they can always do more stuff because they'll probably I mean, they are white, so they might not get totally blown away immediately, but yeah, bad things. Very bad things. I imagine their boss is going to be mad at them because he didn't want them taking a break.
That's the least of his concerns at this point. Like, this is a class action lawsuit.
Oh yeah. So, one of the women decides to begin her plot to lure Melvin into a trap. She tries to seduce him with her in a pink bikini, which she does open up so we can expose her tan lines for our pleasure. And then she says that, "Oh, you need to be wearing pink because pink makes me hot. So you wear pink, and then I'll meet you in the pool area, and then we can do it." And he's falling for it because he doesn't have social skills, and they're taking advantage of that. So he wanders into a darkened pool area, dressed in a pink leotard and tutu with like blue polka dots, and then he wanders in. He starts making out with a figure in the dark, and it turns out that is a goat wearing lipstick and some sort of bra. So yeah, he's alive. That's suppose a good sign. We all thought he was going to die here, so he's getting out lucky. He ends up getting chased by the patrons of the gym, and he ends up jumping out a window A two-story window, so he's going to die anyway. But unfortunately, there's toxic waste. So his death is going to be even more painful and not last as long because the toxic waste is going to break his fall. And that is going to cause chemical reactions with the skin, which he proceeds to do. He starts burning on the floor. He ends up on fire. There's a crowd gathered around talking. They guess he's faking it or something. One of the a police officer shows up and tries to help him, touches him. He ends up, his hands catch fire, and then Melvin runs away on fire.
He's faking it, but because this is an actual scene, and that is something that happens. The guys say, "Oh, he's got to be faking it for like a reaction or something," and then he's like literally writhing in pain, and his skin's literally like discolored, stuff like that, right in front of him. This is probably like the most elaborate acting I've ever seen if this was faking. And then the guy touches him and catches fire, and they're just like, well, I guess he wasn't faking then, and then nobody helped this dude.
Yeah, he runs off. No one stops him. He makes his way home, where he makes his way into the bathroom. He is in pain. He dumps himself into a filled bath. His skin is like warping and inflating and deflating, and his hair is falling out. It's actually decent enough effects. Actually, I'm not entirely sure if they're using a full puppet or for some of the scenes or what. But yeah, it's pretty put together. And this is actually the first effects-based film that Kaufman did. So yeah, he was doing like sex comedies before this. So yeah, he's transforming. The effects are pretty good. And eventually his mom's like knocking at the door asking if he's all right. And she hears growling and moaning. And I suppose she thinks that means he's masturbating.
No.
I
Maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Like it doesn't like we know the context of what in there, but even then, it doesn't sound a lot like that.
Yeah, the implication that she stated was that, oh, my son's finally hit puberty, and I don't get that anymore.
He does eventually reply to her in the other actor's voice, Mitch. It's now in Mitch's voice. Mitch Cohen. It's in Mitch Cohen's voice now. Yeah, so it's in his voice is a good bit deeper than Dan's was, whatever the guy's name was. Mark's. Yeah, it's a good deal lower pitch than Mark's. So I guess that's what brings on the puberty remark. Anyway, we cut to another scene with a guy named Cigar Face and two other goons, one of which is a big dumb guy who's really tough, and then I guess you'd say trans woman?
Yeah, trans woman or a cross-dresser.
I suppose you could say non-binary. I suppose that might apply
Yeah.
here.
She's
Yeah, she acts feminine.
Yeah, okay. Well, for the purpose of this, we'll call her she or they.
Yeah, we're a PC podcast. We'll go with she for the moving on. They are set up with a bunch of money. Actually, it doesn't look like that much money. It's just like maybe 15 bills. Yeah. I suppose that might be $1,500. Oh, I don't know. All American money looks the same. You need to color code it like a civilized country,
like Monopoly.
Yeah, that's how you tell it apart. It's easy to that way. When a guy opens his wallet, you know exactly how much money he has, and you're able to judge whether it's worth stealing or not. You got to think smart, Cody.
I don't know why you're telling this to me. I didn't create the American like monetary system. You should be thanking Hamilton.
Well, no, I'm giving you a hit. Yeah. Anyway,
and if that's incorrect,
attempting to bribe a police. No, you had it.
Sorry,
right. He was.
Did he?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
That was a working joke. That was a functional joke. I just didn't have a follow up.
If it wasn't a functioning joke, it's because American history is dumb.
So, yeah, they're trying to bribe this police officer, Clancy, who's an Irish cop, because in 1980s America, there's a bunch of cops with thick Irish accents. Seems like a dated reference. He tells them no, and they start beating him up. But Toxie comes along to come save Clancy, and he beats up and kills the 3 goons. We get a better look at his form. He's now like very tall and has a deep, kind of like honestly a well-spoken voice. Almost makes me think that this guy isn't remotely the same person. Maybe if he was somewhere on like the autism spectrum or something, or some mental health spectrum, he maybe got cured by the toxic waste. I mean, I kind of like this actually. The idea here of he's getting all the benefits of like a superhero origin story, but he still looks like a radioactive monster. So I can see the little, yeah, I see where they're going with this.
The thing is you can't judge things based on toxic waste logic, because we know as a society nowadays that if you're gonna go swimming in like a vat of toxic waste, you're probably gonna die. But back in the 80s, toxic waste was this thing that gave you everybody superpowers. And
Well, in the 60s, it's I
Mhm.
think in the 80s they knew.
Okay,
I know
well,
in the 90s there were some yeah. I know in the 90s there were some more radioactive monsters. Some of the There's one Hulk villain that's kind of there's a Hulk that kind of looks like Toxie does, sort of.
mhm.
Decent little story arc. Hulk has lots of stuff. I like the Hulk. Hulk's fun to watch. I can't think of a yeah. I don't have a If I had a reasonable Hulk movie I could put into the podcast, I would, but I can't. It's
Like
sad.
the there's
Like Hulk's uh
there's a lot
nothing
of
like nothing that's not like mainstream.
mhm.
Uh there's the TV. I guess we could do the TV movies. Maybe that's something we
Yeah.
could do. I think they're
I
TV
mean, the
movies.
2001 movie was bad enough.
Yeah, maybe, but I think there's like some TV movies where he has Thor in them, and it's like he's like really
Mhm.
furry. Maybe I'll look into it.
Okay.
I think it's a couple seasons away though. I have other superhero slots I want to fill because I mean we're probably doing the sequel to this in season 2, and I want to do another superhero movie, which I have a soft spot for, but it's not been given a lot of respect. Anyway, we we get our first look at Toxie. He's very big. He's got like brown arms. It's not so much. It's some of the later scenes where the arm makeup is a bit later. I think they got it all right in here. Everyone gets kicked in the dick a lot. He punches some people in the dick. There's a lot of crotch shots in this movie. If I were doing like some sort of cinema sins version of this, I'd have like a crotch shot counter on the corner of the screen.
We are not
But
that
yeah, it's
advanced.
we're also not a video cast at all.
We
So
don't have that type of money, Kyle.
I mean, I just don't have that kind of time. I have to. I sort of I do sort of work like 2.5 jobs. So, yeah, we get the F word, the F slur dropped in this scene. Toxie's voice is very dubbed in. There are points where you hear it in the actual movie, but a lot of the dialogue is dubbed in, maybe like 80%. It's really distracting in some of the later scenes where he does on-set talking and also dubbed in stuff, and
Yeah.
it's pretty cheap sounding. You can very much tell the difference. I don't know what the solution is. I'm not a director yet. You didn't see that. You guys didn't see that conversation about us plotting my directorial debut. See us in a couple of years for our Kickstarter. I think that's Kickstarter money. I think we could get the funding through there.
I think the
It doesn't
problem
seem like it's a terribly expensive project.
is it's not a bad idea, and that's the worst part of it. It's extremely
Yeah,
doable.
no, similar stuff's been done. Anyway, we're gonna be vague about this. We're gonna be vague and draw hype. and then it's just going to be like this big independent Canadian film.
Or it's going to be the biggest flop of the century. There's no in between.
Oh, it can't be. There's no the bar's too low. The bar's too low. We like. I'm sure there's some catastrophe that we could jump over. Like we can at least be as good as like
the Velocipastor.
I was gonna say we could at least get like some better than a Pureflix movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah,
like
I think we could do better than that.
Hallmark movies.
It's
probably be better than
that.
Maybe.
Yeah, no. I mean, we could get action scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We could put more car explosions in it than the Velocipastor had.
Which would be one.
What?
Well, there wasn't any car explosions. There was just.
Yeah, exactly. That's the joke, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, I can get some gasoline.
Yeah.
Again, it's the surprising part of the conversation we had is how achievable the goal was. I can't tease you anymore. We're spending too much time on this.
Yeah.
So it's revealed in the next scene where reporters are talking to Clancy, and he gives them the deal about the monster who saved his life, which, unlike a lot of movies where Toxie would maybe be maligned, he's actually supported by a bunch of the working class people of the town that he saves. After the news scene is revealed that the mayor is running crime in the town, or at least the drug trade, and that he is just going to that this failure to bribe Clancy bribe/remove Clancy was actually a bit of a hit to the operation. Toxie goes back to his house and tells his mother he's going to let him, asks his mother to let him in, and introduces himself in the new form. She screams him out of the house, which isn't touched upon, but I guess she eventually figures out it's him. A scene with the mother somewhere in the between this and the ending would have been fairly neat, because she does eventually come to accept the son, contributing to a happy ending. So he ends up setting up a kind of like an old-timey homestead in this trash yard, which is kind of nice and cottagecore-y.
It's still a trash yard.
Yeah, but it's kind of like nice and wholesome, very settler core. I don't know, cottagecore. It's kind of like making his own way in the man. It's he's filling out the Ternarian character arc where he starts as a over civilized wiener and then ends with meets with adversity and has to embrace the ways of the savage in order to contribute to some basis thing. How do you know what I'm talking about?
Nope, not a clue. Over civilized. Let's start with there. He was under civilized in the beginning, and now he's like more civilized.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think that's the end of the thing. And so the cycle continues. Eventually, he will become too complacent with his new powerful place in the world, and then his children will overthrow him. I don't know. Shut up, Jesse. What are you talking about?
Sorry, I'd like to point out, because we didn't talk, or maybe we didn't talk about this. This spawned 2 sequels and a children's TV cartoon.
3 sequels and a children's TV cartoon.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I mean, the children's one is the most surprising, but I mean, they also made cartoons of Rambo, RoboCop. Godzilla was later than this,
but it was short.
We gotta talk about the RoboCop sequels at some point.
Quickly canceled.
Yeah, it didn't last very long. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, unlike the Rambo cartoon, which got 6... You know the Rambo cartoon got 60 episodes? Because they did that syndication thing where they make like a huge first season of 60 episodes so they can syndicate it.
Yeah, this one only got 13. Of course,
it never got syndicated because it was...
This one only got 13.
Yeah, no, it's... Well, I mean, one has like fucking real money behind it and the other one doesn't.
Oh,
and by this time, Rambo is a...
Yeah. Marvel Comics released an 8-issue comic book series on it too.
Oh yeah. I'd read that. I might try to pick that up. We'll see if it's on Comixology later.
Yeah.
I could do a thing about that for the somewhere. So, yeah, he sets up his little homestead. We get another scene with the mayor and some businessmen who are just Captain Planet villains, essentially long term going to pave over the place where Toxie is living, and then put the toxic waste dump right next to the city reservoir so they can poison the town because they're evil. Yeah, they are really just transparently evil. And I suppose you could go through all the trouble of why a company is like the non-evil answer to why they're doing this is, oh, we're just cheap and we want to just do it wherever. And really, is that so much better than what I just said?
But they're profiting off
I mean,
it.
they're profiting off this.
Yes.
They're gonna turn like the radioactive trash yard into a housing development, which will get those people sick because it's full of radioactive chemicals,
Hmm.
which you can get from the soil, and it'll poison all
Class action
plants because the
lawsuit.
water will set up. Yep. Oh yeah, no, this sort of thing happened to like this town in like the Midwest in the States where just like some idiot like provided this other idiot with a bunch of dangerous chemicals that he didn't know what they did, and he used it to like put it down on like roads and like oil down roads so they don't spray gravel everywhere. And he did that over the entire town, thus killing all the animals and get everyone sick. It was a huge thing. They ended up burning down the town, like bulldozing the whole thing into a pile, just setting it on fire. I forget what it's called, but yeah, this is a real thing.
What happened to the guy?
And then they did a plaque. The guy, I think he got sued for a little bit. I think everyone, all the townspeople, like got like $20,000 or something.
That's it?
So there, I guess, yeah, but yeah,
I mean, if you had a house there, that's a lot less money than what you paid for the house. Depending on the
I
time,
mean,
I
it's like
guess.
it's 1970,
Hmm.
so it's a little, that goes a little bit more, but yeah, it's yeah, no, the company got fucked. I'm pretty certain of that. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, there's a the next scene we get is of a robbery where you get a guy with like red and black face paint, a black guy, and then this crazy motherfucker named Rico
Yeah, but why did they even paint their faces in the first place?
because they're supervillains.
Are they? They're robbing a taco place.
That or they're high as fuck. And really,
Mhm.
what's the difference?
It's a very good possibility they're high as fuck.
Yeah, I know. Like really, what's the difference between? I mean, the first time a supervillain comes out in real life, you just got to be like, okay, is this guy just high or is he eccentric? Because either is possibilities. So yeah, they kill a guy. They kill this guide dog, and then attempt to rape this blind woman. Toxie saves her, and has a lengthy fight scene in which he kills Rico.
Rico.
I'm trying to make say Riku for Rico.
Hmm.
Rico. And yeah, he beats up Rico. He rips the black guy's arm off. He kills Rico with a milkshake machine.
Hmm.
He kills the face paint guy with the air fryer, or the not the air fryer, the regular oil fryer, and then he throws the one armed guy in the oven. Can I ask why? Can I ask why that was necessary? It's just, it's at this point I realize like this is just a slasher villain. This is just a slasher movie with the rules reversed, where they've just made all the victims evil, which I guess is more. Yeah, it's debatably more satisfying because otherwise, like, I mean, what you're watching a guy get some dumb teenager get killed because they were having sex in a slasher movie, and this one it's like, oh yeah, this is a dangerous murderer who's getting brutally murdered. I mean, there's catharsis in that.
And it's a nice little twist on it. I'll give it that much. It's kind of like the Punisher level of
Yeah, a
justice here,
little
right?
more cartoony. Yeah, yeah, a little more cartoony, but yeah, it's kind of like how Predator's a twist on the slasher genre because instead of the victims being a bunch of dumb teenagers, they're like big commandos, unless it's a bit of more of a struggle and makes it more of an action movie. But yeah, this turns into like a very much of a revenge movie.
Sorry, this Mexican food place is very confusing.
Is it?
Because, well, it's designed like because it has like nunchucks in it and like swords on the walls and stuff like that. Like, what
Yeah, you
was
found
there
fucking Rico's found
does
fucking samurai swords on the fucking side of the wall.
design
Yeah,
going
what the
for?
fuck, man? Yeah, weird. Like, does the guy also do that? Like what? Why? How?
Also, one of the actors in here who plays the chief of police, I just read his Wikipedia page. He is the screenwriter of the films All Dogs Go to Heaven, the Rugrats movie, Shrek 2, Clockstoppers, Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, Rugrats in Paris, the movie, and the Smurfs.
I like 3 of those movies.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
saying
yeah, no,
it's a weird,
Shrek
weird
2 is good.
transition.
I watched the shit out of Rugrats in Paris as a kid.
Hmm.
I've never seen All Dogs Go to Heaven. Yeah, that's actually a good filmography on that guy.
Yeah, but I
I think
just
I can be
like
proud of that, I figure.
maybe he was young and needed the work, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, he's 60 now, so
This is the Nazi guy?
yeah, I'm assuming so. Yeah, chief of police David and Weiss. Yeah, chief of police.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, that's a yeah, a lot of talent came from Trauma, actually. And this is a very talented film. It's got like a lot of good visual effects for the most part. There's yeah, like I've said, the arm makeup, and particularly this scene is where you really notice it. You got a bunch of decent effects shot. The writing's okay. It's silly, but it's not like some of the other silly action movies we've seen where it's just like completely incomprehensible. It's actually like got a plot with like development.
You relate to the characters.
Yeah. So the blind woman is crying because her dog's dead. We get a cut to the dog, and now it's still breathing, but considering the makeup, that actually makes it more disturbing, not less. It's
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, it's suddenly it's breathing isn't like, oh, this is just this makes it unrealistic. Oh no, now this is a dying dog struggling for its last breaths. Holy shit. Like the effects in this are actually pretty well put together in points. So she's crying in the corner. I mean, short version, she needs help getting home because she's blind and doesn't have her guide dog to get her home. So Toxie agrees to walk her home. Knocks she knocks things around when she gets home because she's to be fair, she's just I mean it's funny, but I mean it's to be fair, she's just lost her guide dog. She's probably a little bit out of it. She tells his fortune with his hand, and she's like, "Oh, I'll tell you a fortune." Then in your other hand, and accidentally just grabs his crotch. Not sure that's the most feminist moment of the year. One thing I like, she is the love interest of the film, but they don't move. But they thankfully don't move immediately from her getting rescued to them having sex. Which thank God. There's actually a bit of a period, like some time goes by, and then they end up dating. He refuses her to let her. He refuses to let her feel up his face because he's freaky and he's not sure she'll react yet. And they do actually have a bit of a arc to their growing intimacy, which is a bit refreshing, actually. I mean, it's
yeah,
not great, but it's like it's they put effort into it, which is more than I can say for a lot of action movie romances. Like you can see the arc here. After this, he we catch him peeing in a sidewalk, and some sex trafficker drives up to him, and he's just like, "Hey, you want to have sex with this 12-year-old?"
this wasn't cool.
And then he turns over and starts to walk over the guy to go rescue this child. It's because I mean he has the power. That's he's doing a good thing here. Yeah, he beats up the guy the sex trafficker. I'm not going to call him a pimp because sex trafficking. Then like eight guys come out of the limo he pulled her out of, and Toxie beats them up. So he saves the woman or the girl. He saves the girl and has the limo driver drive her back home, and he makes sure she gets home safely. The next he saves a couple kids from the hit and run murderers, but doesn't catch them. Maybe because he assumed that they were just accidentally going to run him over. Yeah. Next, the mayor starts organizing a hit squad to go kill Toxie. He sends 6 gunmen, among them the cigar man from earlier in the movie who survived, or Cigar Face. That was the joke. His name was Cigar Face. And 6 guys point guns at Toxie, and he jumps out of the way as they fire, causing them to all shoot themselves.
It's never actually stated whether or not toxic, like the toxic Avenger, is actually gun-proof or not.
I mean, it's pretty. By the end of it, we realize, yeah, he's probably bulletproof, and he does survive some small arms fire at the end. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so can a lot of smaller superheroes.
I didn't know if this was stating that he was actually bulletproof or the mayor's really bad at aiming.
Entirely possible too. Yeah.
Like this guy doesn't exactly portray competence. Like this mayor.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we'll get to that a little bit more. But he jumps out. Yeah, Toxie jumps out of the way. The next scene is him. It revealed that he started dating the blind girl as a couple of men start to accost her. And she's like, "You better stop. My boyfriend will be very mad at you." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I can take your boyfriend." And then she starts on, "Melvin, Melvin." And then he shows up and he's like, "Hey, you messing with my girl, bro?" And then they run off because he's a big monster. Because, yeah, she moves in with him at the junkyard homestead. Then after this, he chases or he's had 2 scenes where he's gotten revenge on the 2 women members of the Hidden Run Killers first. It's a bit confusing because they kill one of them first, but then kill one of them a day later or something. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
He kills the first one by sitting her naked butt onto a bunch of hot coals, which just seems a bit cruel. And then he chases around the other one who's doing a scream queen bit, and he eventually kills her. The next scene we get is the 2 guys of the Hit and Run Killers. They're getting impatient for waiting for the girls because they're apparently bringing the car. So they decide to steal a car from an old lady who they beat up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like they don't just like beat up this old lady. They take like a cane to her and like just start bashing her with it. Like
It's been explained to us by a crazy scientist guy that's the he's a very bad scientist. He's just assuming all this, but he's just coming to the conclusion that the monster Toxie is has some natural sense that lets him home in on evil. So that's why he's chasing after the bad guys and finding them everywhere. I mean, one of which would normally, yeah, it's an explanation for why he is finding these people out of nowhere. So whatever, it's a bit of an explanation. It's a bit to move the plot forward.
I mean, it's not even like he's just like he's out taking out the bad guy. He's doing stuff for the community too. He helped an old lady across the street.
Oh yeah, he's doing general good doing stuff. He's
Opened a popcorn
a,
for a
yeah,
lady.
yeah. No, I mean, he kills people. He's like a halfway point between Captain America and the Punisher. He hurts people like the Punisher, but he's as friendly as Captain America,
Yes.
which is refreshing, I guess. Yeah. I mean, Punisher has a bit of a reputation for being a bit of a jerk sometimes. After that, Toxie shows up in front of the car they're driving, and he jumps on top of the car, throws one of the guys out the side of the door, killing him, and then gets into the car and starts messing with the steering wheel. Stressed out killer starts asking for him to get control of the back thing. They almost kill several people. Like, a lot of people have to walk out of the way. This is a very reckless scene, and this maybe contributes to a later character moment, which I'll get to. But yeah, this Mad Max inspired car chase scene ends in them driving off a cliff and causing the car to explode. Toxie then walks out unscathed. The next scene we get is this little old lady coming to pick up her dry cleaning, and then Toxie comes along and murders her.
Yeah.
By putting her through the dryer and then putting her in an iron, which
This is
I mean tells us a few things. I guess he doesn't really have control over what he's doing. He's doing this purely on instinct. What are you saying?
I was just gonna say the actor who played this little old lady is really tiny. She's like under 5 feet at least, like 4'5", maybe
Yeah,
at best.
yeah, no, it can't be stressed. She's I don't know that she's an actual little person for
Mhm.
sure. So I guess she could be. She's
Well, I'm just compare, or they really did this scene well.
Yeah, scaled it well. But yeah, she's very, especially when compared to Toxie, she's just like absolutely tiny. This leads everyone to believe that he's murdered an innocent woman, and it appears to the audience that he has as well, which we have a bit of a moment of suspense where we are not sure that whether or not he's turned evil and maybe he's just completely lost control, which would maybe explain a bit of the car chase scene, which why he was being so reckless there. The mayor has a press conference. Before the press conference, it's alerted to him that this turns out this woman was actually a head of a white slavery ring,
Mhm.
which would actually make it consistent with his other actions. It turns out she was just pure evil. She was actually pure evil. So he's not even drawing through general situational awareness. He can tell if someone's evil without seeing anything they did.
Yeah.
But the mayor is taking this opportunity to cover that up and just pretend like the toxic Avengers killed an innocent woman, so that so that he can officially use the police and perhaps the military and national guard to deal with this threat to his criminal enterprise. It's at this point we meet a little bit more of the police chief, who is just straight up a Nazi. So yeah,
He calls the mayor my Führer at one point.
yeah, yeah. It's just like has that Freudian slip where he's just like, "My Führer, I mean my mayor, Mister Mayor, Mister
Yeah.
Mayor." That's what they meant. Yeah, it's just a very funny Freudian slip. Oddly enough, I don't think he dies, which frankly makes me want to take a point off the movie. Yeah, I don't think he dies. I'm taking a point off. You have a perfectly good Nazi there to slaughter, and you don't. Like,
Well,
what's the point of putting him in the movie if you're not going to murder him?
that guy went on to write Trek too.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna kill the actor. I'm saying kill
Yeah,
this
wow.
fictional Nazi. Yeah, I'm not like people don't die in real life when you kill them in the movie.
You never
I
know.
mean, how would that explain Sean? In that case, Sean Bean's immortal. Sean Bean's fucking Wolverine.
He is.
Yeah, I
Unless
guess
we're
he's British Wolverine.
taking out the fact that Wolverine died in Logan. So
Yeah, Logan's not very good. Uh,
what?
uh, although, yeah, I don't really care for it.
What?
I don't like the I don't like the theme. I don't like the thing that they're trying to compare him to Shane, which is another movie. It's just like, oh yeah, spoiler alert, I guess. Whatever, I'll spoil the stupid movie for you. It's fucking. They're just like, oh yeah, we don't need you anymore. You've done what you need. There are no need for guns in the valley. It's like, no, they need guns in the valley. This is a dystopian society. This entire society needs to fall. We need to deal with this. We need Wolverine. We need superheroes. God damn it. Come on, save the world.
They got superheroes.
Yeah, the kids, they still need Wolverine.
Yeah. But they don't.
Wolverine would probably be Wolverine would probably help out. He'd probably...
No, X-21 is there. X-22 is the new Wolverine.
You got it wrong both times. It's X-23.
Oh. She's gonna train him.
They're all technically trained, whatever. But yeah, no, the theme's dumb. It's...
Yeah, but they killed off the Wolverine. Or at least as we know it, they killed off of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, who's been the Wolverine since like inception of the X-Men movie franchise. And on top of that, they killed off Patrick Stewart. Like, how do you dislike that? Like,
oh yeah, good scenes. I don't like the overarching themes of the movie.
Okay,
that's possible. Like, yeah, no, I don't like the overarching themes they're going for.
Yeah, but you gotta leverage that all up against like the movie as a whole. You can't just be like, I dislike this portion of the themes, henceforth it's a bad movie.
That's why I'm not giving it a 0. That's why I'm not giving it a 0. That's... it still gets like a...
for my point of like contention, yeah. You're giving it a 4 because you do not like the themes of Wolverine?
Yeah, it's a fucking civil rights story, and they're ending it saying they don't need to deal with the civil rights massacre that we've all just inflicted on the mutants. It's like, fuck. Anyway.
Okay.
It's weird. You give things lower scores than me, and then I say I don't like...
Well, I've given a lot of low scores. You've given way too many high scores.
Yeah.
Wolverine does not deserve a 4. At best. Like a 7.
Logan doesn't deserve 4. Wolverine I like.
Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, let's talk about
the movie Wolverine.
Let's talk about the topic of the Avengers before I lose my shit.
Okay, where am I? Oh yeah, a lot of the people that Toxie saved are rejecting this news that he did apparently kill an innocent person, but they're kind of like skeptical. It's like, okay, but he was a good guy before that. And the mayor's talking a big game about shooting to kill on this guy, who he refers to as an it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, whatever. No, not whatever. He's doing it to deliberately demean people because he's a fascist that's going to use government military power to put down the working class hero. But yeah, they're at least saying that, like, okay, we should at least take him alive because, he was doing good. Maybe we can fix him. Maybe there was I don't know if no one goes as far as to say it was a misunderstanding. The mayor calls up the National Guard. They say they want to capture Toxie, which the mayor is not on board with. The cops eventually find Toxie, who is fleed into the woods with his girlfriend Sarah, and so they ended up surrounding him. Lots of gun. The townsfolk is also gathered around, which is weird that they're allowed to do that. The townsfolk leap to his defense, saying if you want to kill Toxie, you'll have to go through them. None of the soldiers and police will shoot, so the mayor goes about trying to shoot him. And so this exposes the theme of the movie, that only the rich guys want this guy who punishes evil to survive, because they've just been manipulating the system in order to profit off the actual crime and communist themes.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, blah, blah. So the mayor tries shooting at him. Toxie's instincts kick in, and he starts stomping toward the mayor. As the mayor shoots at him, we get flashbacks of different scenes where he's survived injuries, and he punches into the guy's the mayor's stomach, killing him. And he says to Officer Clancy, "Get rid of this toxic waste." Yay, metaphors about the rich being the real toxic waste, and the working class needing to go to drastic ends in order to overthrow their tyrannical late stage capitalist overlords.
Yeah.
Communism seize the means of production. uh,
If anybody's listening to this and works at Amazon.
yeah, Jeff Bezos get a beast. Bezos get a giant robot beast suit, or get out. If you're not going to do supervillainy properly, don't bother.
I wanted to Google search the other day, just out of curiosity. I was like, how do I word this into Google? That would give me the search that I wanted. So what I typed into Google is, how much money would Jeff Bezos lose if he wanted to treat his employees like basic human beings? And it did not search for what I was looking for. I just wanted to know how much money he would lose by allowing his workers to unionize. I'm assuming it'd probably be a significant amount, but he could afford it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
By
nope,
a
yep,
long shot.
yep. Mr. Bezos, go fuck yourself. Yep, Mr. Bezos, go fuck yourself. You don't deserve to be a billionaire if you don't treat your workers properly.
And the only reason why I support Amazon at all is because you have a decent fucking movie selection on Amazon Prime, or I wouldn't even give you any of my fucking money. God damn it.
We live in tiny towns, and we can't buy anything that's not at Walmart. Like, there's only one place you can get DVDs in this town, fucking Walmart. How fucking pathetic is that?
Oh, I hate the fucking Walmart bins there. And I mean, we talk a lot of shit about Jeff Bezos and not allowing anybody in his Amazon stores to unionize, but Walmart's been doing it for years too. So, I mean, fuck you too, Walmart. Casually as a side note.
Yeah, Walmart sucks. Like, it always pisses. Like, occasionally I just sit around and just think about how pissed off that I can't buy DVDs anywhere else in town. Like, it just, like, why? Why can't I buy a DVD anywhere else? And how come every restaurant in town is a fucking burger place? Why can't I have like a fucking one healthy restaurant option, like a pita place or something?
There's Subway.
Yeah, but I mean, at a pizza place, I could get like a smoothie made of like real fruit and ice.
Do we not have a pita place?
No, we had one way back when. That was
Oh,
actually before you moved here. Yeah, we had one before you moved here, like a couple of years before that. But
must
yeah,
be
no, we
thinking of
don't.
Moose Jaw. We do have a pita place in Moose Jaw.
Yeah, no, Peter Moose Jaw would,
Mm-hmm.
because they're a bit bigger. But yeah, the only place you can get a half decent smoothie is fucking McDonald's, and fuck McDonald's.
Make your own smoothies.
Ugh. Yeah, no, it's work. Anyway, what do we give the movie, Cody?
Oh no, I think this is probably gonna surpass most of my thresholds. I'm gonna say probably an 8 or 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm flipping back and forth on that is because there's parts of the graphics, like the over the top violence, the gory sections that I like, but also it kind of loses a lot of its appeal because it's the 80s and they kind of do it really cheaply and like badly. So
Yeah.
besides that, like the theme, it's kind of a little campy. Besides some of
Yeah,
the
it is.
the darker moments when they're like, "Hey, this is a
Yeah.
12-year-old,"
It's charming though,
stuff
so
like
yeah.
that.
I'm giving it a 7. I would give it an 8, but they didn't kill the Nazis, so that's -1.
Also, there was a point in the movie where the three guys, Cigarface and his gang, I think they called them the Bi Gang.
Man, I mean, that could be accurate.
Yeah, but like that's kind of cool. I mean, that's pretty progressive that there's like a gang of bi people.
Yeah, no, I'm like, wait, what? So wait, there's a trans woman, or perhaps a non-binary person, then a a big dumb guy, and then I presumably normal, and then another. Yeah, yeah, it's a weird. Like, what kind of gang is this? Like,
Mhm.
this isn't a normal reality gang. That's, I guess, this movie's weirdly progressive in its own way. That's maybe
And
not.
also very
I
not
doubt
so
ever.
progressive.
I doubt everyone would appreciate. Yeah, no, I doubt everyone would appreciate it, and I'm sure someone's like, ah, no, this isn't very good representation at all. But
Mhm.
it's weirdly, yeah. I mean the slurs are all used by villains,
Mhm.
so I mean that doesn't make it okay necessarily, but I mean it does put it, at least it's in context. And I guess there's a gay couple, but they're not. I mean they're, I guess, a little campy, but and they're real kind of stereotypical, but they're not bad. They're just doing their own thing, and no one says anything about it, and no one's bothered by it. So
Mhm.
no one's really making jokes about them, except the one guy who just like hate crimes the dance instructor. But I mean, he's a villain. So yeah, I think that's a nice little way to spend the 20th episode.
There was a couple things I wanted to touch on here quickly before we sign off here. First of all, one of the taglines in the original posters, the first superhero from New Jersey. I tried to look into that and see if there was like something that outdated.
Um,
I don't think
I
so.
know one that's after.
Yeah,
There's one
after.
that's after. I don't know about before. Like Megas XLR was from New Jersey, but I don't know any from beforehand.
And I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean it's not. The Toxic Avengers, I'm assuming, exist outside of any of our known like current canon. What I'm
Yeah, it's
saying
its
is,
own thing as far as I know.
we can't judge the DC like superheroes to the Toxic Avengers
Yeah.
world.
I think this is
Um,
I think this is decent enough for its own thing. I like the odd extra take on superheroes, and
mhm.
I don't so much watch every time someone does like some edgy show where like superheroes are actually evil. And how about we talk about that reality, which isn't reflected in the comics ideally. It's, I don't know, I haven't had interest in watching like The Boys, or I don't really like Injustice either. I've only ever played that for the gameplay.
I like the fact that the characters, the bad guys in this movie, actually get their comeuppance.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no,
Die
they all get their
gruesomely.
ass kicked okay.
And as
Yep.
you pointed it
Yep.
out earlier, it's better because it has a lot more justifications behind it instead of like early camper flicks where they're like he was smoking a reefer cigarette, so Jason's cut his head off and then threw it in a lake
Yeah,
or whatever
like
Jason does.
the old Robert Ebert, yeah. Yeah, the old Robert Ebert complaint about this sort of film doesn't really apply here because it's evil people getting their comeuppance. And you can argue that they don't that's like amount of a bad thing that Toxie shouldn't really be doing, but I mean, most people aren't going to argue with this. It'd just be like the weird pacifist types who are going to argue that. And even then, within this fiction of the movie, as long as you're understanding that. But yeah, you want to roll for the next episode?
Sure, I don't bring a dice with me. You know how I work, Kyle.
Yeah, I have a black dice here. Uh, Gangster Squad.
Okay.
Yeah, doing Gangster Squad. Yeah, it's an okay movie. It's a bit more recently. I don't know. I liked it. Well, yeah. So yeah, follow us on the Facebook at Kyle and Cody's called CinemaCast. Follow the Twitter at KCCCC. There's the YouTube channel, Kyle and Cody's called CinemaCast. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, leave reviews, spread the word, circulate the links. Tell us how great we are on Twitter. We'll have some stuff. I should have time to start working on the season 2 schedule this
Hmm.
week. So I'll maybe put out a call for what people want sometime soon.
Yeah.
And yeah, we will see you soon. Have a nice weekend. I don't know when this comes out. I don't know if that's relevant. And stop.